Hello and welcome to another Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous. My name is Nikki Batgirl D'Angelo and this is my 2 cents. Today we're going to talk about something that might be a little bit controversial, but I'm doing it to open eyes and to come up with solutions, not as a hit piece. So if you see this as a hit piece, say la vie, it will probably get me more views, but that's not what this is about. It's about getting CIG to wake up and fix subscriptions once and for all. First off, let's think about why games charge subscriptions. Some of them see their game as a live service, like World of Warcraft, and they'll charge you $15 a month, plus the cost of whatever new expansion they have. That $15 a month will pay for all the updates to that expansion, pay for the services, like the server bandwidth, while you're playing, and it gives you nothing else, right? Sometimes if you do like a 6-month subscription and pay all at once, you'll get a mount, but that's it. Those are the benefits. You get the game and you get to play. Then there's the free-to-play model that uses subscriptions to give you certain things that might be cosmetic, like in Star Wars: The Old Republic, or in a game like Lord of the Rings Online, or maybe Genshin Impact, or even Fortnite. You see what I'm talking about? There's a lot of free-to-play games that use it as a model to give you things that don't actually alter the gameplay, but may make you look different and cooler. So now we have to go back to a time just after GDC of 2012, just after the live stream when they kicked off the Kickstarter, just after they made millions to get the game started. Those loyalists, those initial people that jumped on the bandwagon to support CIG wanted to give more money. They wanted to give money on a monthly basis. And neither of the two subscription models I mentioned before were going to work. So CIG implemented these. When I look at the original subscriber benefits, I could only see a couple that still exist: the Vault and Jump Point. Everything else had to go. Many of these came to pass because their value dwindled over time. Being able to visit CIG's headquarters was going to be for a select few people, because not everybody lived within a distance to actually go to LA or Austin. And there was no Manchester, there was no Frankfurt, and there was no Montreal studio at the time. On February 19th of 2014, CIG announced sweeping changes to the subscriber plans. With the release of the Hangar module in the fall of 2013 now behind them, CIG had opportunity to begin offering cosmetic items as a subscriber benefit. These cosmetic items would come in the form of Hangar Flare, with some examples being a locker, posters, fish tank, calendars, and my favorite, the jukebox. 2014 was also the year that Citizen Cons started to be planned, and so VIP access to these events was granted to subscribers, fully for Imperator members and after 12 months for Centurion members. There was a lot here. Something that was more tangible, something that you could see every day in your hangar, and something on the horizon, one more feature for Imperators. This being the ability to fly the Vanduul Scythe for 24 hours a month inside the dogfighting module, which today, of course, is Arena Commander. On April 18th of 2017, subscribers were delighted by a posting in the comlink that showed a Big Benny's vending machine and the words 5-year subscriber benefits, or perks. It was this year that not only did we receive our Big Benny's vending machine, but we also started to receive those coupons. 10% off of merchandise, including ships, for a Centurion, or 20% off for an Imperator, and that was restricted to a maximum of $100. Now, there were some updates in between these two dates, and one of those included subscriber flash sale. In order to understand flash sales, you have to understand another perk which we talked about before, and that was the ship of the month. So for 1 month, subscribers had unfettered access to one of the ships that was sold previously in the pledge store. Some of these ships were limited, but not all. Some of them were just not available to purchase at the time. So a subscriber would have an opportunity to fly that ship, see how they like it, and at the end of the month, they would have a flash sale, which would give them access to purchasing that ship for good. To outline the next 5 years of changes would be a moot point. I just wanted you to see how things changed early on. But where we are today are a bunch of perks that some of them make a lot of sense, and some of them just don't have any substance. So rec is one of the perks that I associate with no substance, and it's because of this. We had rec when it mattered. There was the Arena Commander module, Dogfighting Alpha, whatever you want to call it in the beginning, and we needed to be able to buy ships, outfit them, and see how they worked. And rec gave us the ability to rent ships, rent the components, and use them to see just how would they work together. And it made sense. And there was also reason to play Arena Commander back then when you were getting titles and the ability to buy things in-game like pirate skins for your Caterpillar and other ships. But today, those opportunities are gone. They're long gone. And when you get into Arena Commander, it's either a long wait or just a no-go if you're going to get into a multiplayer at all. Sometimes I've gotten into one, but most cases I just have to leave. And if I go into the single player, it just crashes. And I don't really care if they ever do any work on Arena Commander again, because if I'm going to spend 30, 40 minutes in the game, I want to do it making money that is going to be more substance for me, something that's going to matter. Also, I think the advent of things like Ship of the Month have done away with the need for rec, because normally that Ship of the Month is a ship that was just recently sold, and they're giving you another opportunity to buy that as a subscriber. And that leads to my conclusion that rec is not needed in the game anymore. So I'm going to preface this next one with this is my opinion, and it's about Wave 1 PTU. The PTU is usually filled with bugs and filled with frustration. And where I used to love getting into Wave 1, and you need to as a content creator because you have to show people what the new stuff is, I dread it these days because normally Wave 1 is broken. It still has a lot of things that don't work, or it might have features that just haven't been dropped into the PTU yet. So for me personally, and I don't think this is for everybody, I just think Wave 1 PTU doesn't make sense. I'm going to combine these next two into one, and that's going to be Ship of the Month and Hangar Flare, or Flare overall. Both of these are good. I think they work for me. A second opportunity to buy a ship I haven't purchased before, or Flare I'm going to be able to use at some point. I don't mind. I think it's okay. These are cosmetics. These are things that are normally given to you inside of other games in their subscription methods. But I think that there has to be something done to make these more usable, and there has to be insurance on your gear. It's too easy to lose those wonderful pieces of armor like the Hello Kitty set and I'm just going to say all of them. All of the armor pieces are pretty awesome. And one errant misstep in a dogfight and you're flying into an asteroid and killing yourself, or when you're in these dogfights that exist today and you're jousting with something and it hits you dead on and you've lost some of that great flair and have to reset your character just to get it back. I'm not going to complain about this one right now. CIG, don't worry about this. Worry about persistence. Persistent entity streaming is more important, but that piece of it would make Flare make more sense. The last two perks I want to discuss are the Subscribers Den and coupons. I think both of these work. They both give a benefit. In Subscribers Den, you could talk to people that are as obsessed or passionate, I'm going to use the word passionate, about the game as I am. I've had a lot of fun in there in the past. I haven't been there recently, but I think it's a great deal for people that are subscribers. Coupons are limited to $100 off a single purchase. An Imperator will save that much on a $500 purchase. A Centurion is going to do that on a $1,000 purchase. Save $100 on $1,000. But it's still 10% off of any purchase or 20% off of any purchase, and I think this is one of the truly good perks. So I've taken you on a small journey so far, talked about how other companies do subscriptions, talked about what CIG's challenges in the beginning were, and then talked about where we are now. So what do we do about this? How do we change what's there now and make it more appealing for those that want to spend that extra money? But there has to be criteria, and it has to be between these 2 points. It cannot be pay to win, and and it still has to be desirable, and it still has to make someone want to spend that extra money. And I think what we call the zone between these two criteria is quality of life. So how could being a subscriber affect quality of life in the game? First off, it cannot make ships, armor, weapons, components cheaper. But what I think it can do is to make the consumables cheaper, like food, water, clothing, and ammunition. I think those things would make sense. Now let's talk about the coupons. Currently, they're most valuable when you spend either $500 on a ship for an Imperator or $1,000 on a ship for a Centurion. And this is asking too much of the people that are giving you their hard-earned cash. I believe these coupons should have value across all the sales during the year. Whenever there's an event and there are new ships being offered, you should be able to use the coupon up to a maximum of whatever CIG determines that to be on a yearly basis. Right now, they're currently telling us that we could only save $100 a year. That's fine. We should have 20% off coupons that could be used until we reach that value. And that's something I feel would give much more value in that perk and make it a much better deal inside of our subscription. So what are your ideas? I know that we're not going to be perfect here. I know it's going to take a while, but we have to come up with something that makes sense. And something that drives people to want to subscribe again. And don't say, just give them a game. Because subscriptions were born out of a time when there wasn't even a Hangar module. Comment below with your thoughts. And when you're done with that, please click the thumbs up button below if you like this video. And if you're a subscriber or are subscribing today, please click that notification icon so you get notified of all my future videos. If you want to help support Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous, please go to patreon.com/Batgirl. And with that said, you all be safe out there, and I will talk to you soon.